Cookbook 1 is so freaking good. Don't underestimate Cookbook 1. Cookbook 2, it's way better than Cookbook 1.
What is good, people? Today we are doing a full day eating like Greg Doucette. So I've got Cookbook 1 and Cookbook 2. I'm going to go through the books, select some recipes, try them out and see what I think for myself. And in honor of Greg Doucette, I'm going to wear a stringer throughout the whole video, even though it's fairly chilly in the UK right now. Anyways, let's get to the kitchen. So I've got the laptop here and I'm going through the cookbook. I think the first one we're going to go for is the ham and cheese omelet. I've just noticed that he actually doesn't use any whole egg in his actual omelet, which is a shame because I love eggs. I always have at least one whole egg when I use egg whites. And of course, we're going to talk about whether I think it's actually worth the money. It was around, what was it, $150? So I opted to go for lean bacon medallions rather than the diced ham, just because I like medallions more and the higher protein. And then obviously I've done the egg whites. This is a lot of egg whites and I've poured it out. It came up to 440 grams. And the funny thing is, Greg, I think his 2-cup measurement I think comes out to 280, but this was 440 and this was enough. Looking at the volume already, I know this is going to be pretty filling. And bearing in mind, there were still more vegetables I could use. He said up to 100 calories of vegetables. I think the bacon's almost done now, so I'm going to take out the bacon now, slice them up into pieces, add the egg mixture and then add the bacon on top as like a topping. I'm looking forward to seeing how much volume this makes. So once the omelette is actually cooked and I've started folding it, we're going to add the cheese. Alright, I can see it's starting to set around the edges, but there is so much egg whites in it. I can just see how thick it is, so that it's taking a while for the top to actually cook, which is why I keep putting the lid on. And also, I am a super known person to break his omelettes. When I flip it, I fail consistently. But I will say, when it comes to making recipes and making foods, the main thing is that it tastes good. Alright people, it's the moment of truth. I've been testing the edges. I think it can... Okay, it's a little too big for my spatula. And I broke it. Failed attempt at flipping the omelette. As I said, it's not about the presentation, it's about the taste. So on presentation, I'm almost certain I'm guaranteed to get like a score of...
The grand total of a 0 people.
But with that being said, I'm going to show you how my normal omelettes look, because I can make them good. This one just got so much volume that when the shit's too dense, you just can't flip. This is a super mondo big omelette. Like, it's definitely at least double the size I would reckon we have.
Way more than last time. It's way more anabolic.
And the calories isn't too bad. Mine comes up to around 370-ish calories and around 70 grams of protein. I regard anything under 400 calories as a low calorie meal, and this is definitely low calorie and definitely very voluminous. It's at least an inch deep. It's a very high omelette. And to make it puffed up like this is because when you make an omelette and you put like the lid on top, the egg whites really puff up. I do that with most times I have eggs. Swelling it up means that one, it takes me longer to eat because there's more size of it, and it just naturally tricks your brain to think that you've ate more food. But anyways, we're going to try this out. If it tastes good, this is probably going to be a keeper. It's almost the moment of truth. Alright people, that is super filling. My stomach, it feels cramped. That's, as I said, that's more volume than I would normally eat for a similar amount of calories. And to be honest, I'm not surprised it tastes good, because the only thing that was different from this to my regular omelettes was the amount of egg whites and the fact that I typically would have at least one whole egg and I wouldn't normally have the cheese. That's the main difference. And I normally would put some chorizo in there as well. But yeah, that was very filling. I feel like my stomach feels very... Okay, it's not going to look puffy, but it feels full as hell. Alright people, we are off to the store to buy some stuff. It's about a 30-minute walk, even though it's kind of cold. I'm purposely walking for 2 reasons. 1, it's good to be active, and 2, that food was so filling that it's almost uncomfortable. My stomach just feels like it's about to burst. I feel like I need to move. Sitting at home wasn't helping. So in scenarios like that, next time going forward, I wouldn't have the same amount. So I'm going to put on screen a altered version that I've kind of saved in my fitness pal for myself, purely because you shouldn't feel that stuffed and uncomfortable. Yeah, I mean, you want the food to be filling, but not to the point where you actually feel like you're going to be sick. So that's my main thing. People love staring at me like I'm a dickhead when I use the camera and vlog. Anyways, I'm gonna go to the store, get this stuff, head back so I can start making the next thing. Alright, you saw the ingredients, you somewhat know what we're doing, but basically I was scrolling through to see what caught my eye. There was a bunch of
rice cake sandwiches, open-faced rice cakes.
Stuff like that, which I did a hard pass. I wasn't really feeling to eat chicken with hard rice cakes. It's not for me. But what did grab my eye was the meat wraps that he does. So you can have any sort of chicken, beef, egg whites or turkey wrap. I haven't filmed having beef mince on this channel in ages, so I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go for that. Also, in honor of it being another meal, I thought might as well do another stringer, do a different one for each meal. Alright, so Greg says to use around 80 grams of beef mince per wrap. I'm not gonna lie, that's a lot less beef mince. Like 80 grams of beef mince isn't a lot. I would probably have at least 120 grams per wrap. Anyways, with that amount, we're gonna add cheese to it. My typical barbecue sauces ran out, so I'm gonna go with this smoky barbecue sauce that I got from Muscle Food. It's okay, but I do personally prefer normal barbecue sauce. Alright, and here we go. Right, so here we have the open wrap. I'm gonna close it up now. Something I forgot. I forgot to add loads and loads of spinach. You normally just have to fill them up. Alright people, now this is looking more like it. Both of them are much more filling. This is the sort of size I was thinking. Typically I would have more meat in it. So as I said, we have the wrap. They are definitely really filling. And I know they normally say like, yo, baby spinach, you can't taste it. I can tell you right now, when you're eating this much of it, you can taste it. It just tastes like green. But it's not bad. It's not bad. Alright, we got one down so far. For 400 calories, that is not bad. He actually filled me up. Like, as I said, I normally would have more beef mince than that. And I probably would feel just as full as I am now, but I wouldn't have had nowhere near as much veg. It's more healthier than last time, I guess. But yeah, man, I don't know if I can make the second one. If only I had like the appetite and stomach of Naughty Foodie Fitness and her abs. You know, if I just had a whole metabolism, genetics, still had me and my penis, but like everything sometimes being lean, I'd be pretty happy. Oh, my stomach. I've got that same feeling from earlier. No one can argue and say that the sheer amount of volume you have for the calories is not feeling like it is. So yeah, going forward, I'd probably scale that down as well and probably just have one of the wraps, but probably use maybe 100 grams of beef mince and then like pack it in with the veg as well. But I'm gonna sit down for like about an hour and a half and just let my stomach settle before I even attempt to go make the next thing. Since having that meal, I lied down thinking, oh, I'm just gonna watch a little bit of TV before I make the next meal. I completely conked out, but I did manage to select what I'm gonna have next before I even fell asleep. So I'll show you now. So it sounds a little bit weird because I've never heard of it anyway. Egg white fries. So I looked at the recipe because the title stood out to me. So for that reason, I thought it'd be interesting to make. Never in my life have I ever thought to even do this recipe. So I've washed the potatoes, similar way to what Greg Doucette says, and he says what I need to do is cut them long ways and then place in a large bowl, I assume to season. So as you can see, those little potatoes, it starts looking more voluminous when you actually slice them up. The one thing I'm unsure about is, I'm not sure how it's meant to absorb, like the fries is meant to absorb all the egg whites I'm gonna add. I just feel like it's just going to be around it, but we'll see. If you're from the UK, I get my egg whites from musclefood.com. Link is in the description box. I normally buy at least 4 a month because I use quite a lot of it. So here we go. It says pour half a cup of egg whites onto the potatoes in the bowl. This is basically finished. I used it earlier today. Yes, basically almost done. Jesus, that first recipe damn near used all the egg whites. I also forgot when I went to the store, I did pick up some mixed herb seasonings. This is actually Italian herbs because I ran out. So this is what we're looking like so far. Seasoned, I'm just going to mix it around now. I wish I actually knew what this was meant to look like, because at the moment the egg whites isn't really getting absorbed by the fries. If anything, you know what the egg whites is doing? It looks like it's washing off all the seasoning I put on the fries. If this is completely wrong, feel free to shout at me. If you are a subscriber of Greg and you've made this recipe and it's meant to look different, let me know. Because at the moment, this seems like a very, very weird meal to me. So it's almost going to become like a massive egg white fries omelet. So yeah, we're going to see how this goes. As I'm looking at the recipe, I think the mistake I've done was pouring egg whites on at the end. But the reason why I did that is because with the very minimal amount of egg whites actually soaked into potatoes, I could never say that that was 20 grams of protein like Greg's put on the list, because it's not enough sucked in there. It's just gotten to the time where I'm kind of flipping them over. I'm not even going to show you what it looks like in there. I'm going to save it as a surprise. Alright, so here we have it. Since I've been eating them, I can say they taste fine. It just tastes like normal like fries that I normally make at home. So I guess the main benefit of it is just having the extra protein in it. It's not for flavour or anything like that. So yeah, feel free to give it a go, guys, and see what you think. This is the blueberry French toast recipe. This is probably my favourite one of all the stuff he's ever done. The one that most people talk about. He normally uses regular white ass bread, but I decided to use the CD bread because I really love it. It's an extra, I think, 20-ish calories based on what he said. I think his main aim is white bread under 70 calories, but I really prefer this one, the way it tastes. A little bit extra calories, but for me the taste is worth it. But yeah, I'm going to eat this right now because I'm starving, and I'll come back to you in a bit. Alright people, I'm now back, and what we're going to do is talk about whether I actually feel like the cookbook is worth the money now that I've tried some of the recipes. The egg white fries one could probably be a miss. I don't think that's needed, but I'm not 100% sure if I did that one correctly. But outside of that, they all tasted great. Now whether it's actually worth the money, because it is $149. It's very subjective, it really depends. For me personally, it's not worth the money because I can maintain myself looking fairly lean anyway based on the current diet habits I already have. However, if you're someone out there that just doesn't know anything and needs a good guide on what to eat, and you're someone that typically wastes money on stupid fads and rubbish machinery, and you know the type of things, like for example, you fall for the schemes of build crazy amounts of muscle in 4 weeks. If you're someone that spends money on crap like that, if you took all that money of all the different fads that you fell for and bought the cookbook, you'd probably be better in the long run. However, it is quite expensive. Like, I do factor that in. If you can't afford it, then don't buy it. Like, if you only have $200 in your bank account, I wouldn't spend 150 of it on buying a cookbook. You know what I mean? There are free resources you can find that could help you just as much as the cookbook. It's just the fact that it's a one-stop shop, and as long as you know how to cook, then it may be worth it for you. As I said, for me, I wouldn't buy it, but if you can afford it and you don't mind doing it, then fair enough. Let me know in the comments, because all the cookbooks I've got of Greg's, a actual subscriber sent them to me. He truly values them, like he says that they're the greatest thing ever and that they really have helped his mindset towards food. So I can't argue with him and go it's not worth the money. If he truly believes it's worked for him and it's really been beneficial for him, then that's a plus, regardless of how much it costs. And you have to also factor in that technically Greg can choose to price it however he wants. He's got crazy demand right now. If he wants to charge you, you know what I mean, $300, I guarantee someone out there probably would still buy it. I wouldn't, but someone else would. But money aside, do I think the cookbook's decent? Yes, I do. But overall, there's more recipes too.
For various pizza recipes, main dishes like lasagna, chicken nuggets.
So I'm probably gonna do this video again and try some of these more complex recipes. Like, I've never made a lasagna in my life, so I may try doing one of those. But anyways, people, thanks for watching the video. Let me know your thoughts down below. Like, do you think it's worth it? Have you bought the book? Have you tried any of the recipes? Anyways, if you want to see more of these videos of different people, not just Greg, let me know as well. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay getting gains. Peace.